Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Cooking with Chef Aaron. Today, we're going to be setting foot in Western Europe as we explore the country of the Netherlands. Now this country was requested to me by none other than Rebecca Haak. As always, thank you for your request. I'd like to give a big shout out to you, and I hope to receive more requests from other people sometime soon. Okay, so I'm going to start this review off by talking about the largest and capital city of the Netherlands, which is called Amsterdam. And this is a very magical looking city because, as you can see in this photo right here, you can see a lot of colorful buildings, and the atmosphere has a bit of like an autumn type of feel, like it's very magical. I know autumn is a very magical season in general, but in the Netherlands it looks pretty foreign in particular because it's very colorful, it's very surreal, the atmosphere, and that's just what I've got to say about it. Okay, now the next city I want to talk about is the second largest city, which is called Rotterdam, and this is probably my favorite city in the nation because, as you can see, the architecture in this photo is very abstract. It's built in such a way that it's sort of leaning over you. It's kind of like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but with houses. It's pretty cool, and I also like the colors of them. They're very nice and yellow. They have a good hue to them. And also, you'll find that at night there's a nice shiny traffic bridge that's similar to the one I showed in the Brazil episode, if you remember that one from season 1. And there's a lot of other abstract architecture here that kind of looks similar to what you would find in some parts of Lithuania. Because take a look at this building right here. It looks very interesting. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the third largest city in the Netherlands, which is called The Hague. And this city is sort of okay-ish. Like, it's not too interesting. Like, it kind of looks very similar to what you would find in France, which is a country in Europe that I don't really care for that much. France is actually one of my least favorite countries in Europe. But still, it isn't too bad because I still kind of like the aesthetics of the buildings like a little bit. Like, even though it's not very captivating architecture, it does have aesthetic parts to it, like the reflection in the water here. The colors match up nicely, and it looks very natural, magical. Okay, so to wrap up this review, I'm going to talk about the rural parts of the Netherlands now. And as you can see here, there's a bit of vegetation that looks very similar to what you would find in the US here. The only difference being is that it's a lot more colorful, it's a lot more brightly colored, and it feels a lot more magical. But it's very similar, it's like similar like farmland, I guess you could say. And over here you can see some more windmills along with some red vegetation here, and like some flowers, it looks like it from here. Sorry, the picture isn't too zoomed in. I could bring up a photo like right now just to look at it. Yeah, I think those are flowers. Okay. So, yeah, like I was saying, it has very magical vegetation. The flowers look very magical, so do the windmills. And yeah, it's not a very bad country to drive through. Okay, so overall, I'd probably have to give the country of the Netherlands a B-. Okay, let's head up to my kitchen right now, and I'll show you how to make the bitterballen. Okay, so to make the bitterballen, this is going to be a two-part process. What you're looking at right now is all the ingredients for the first part of the cooking process, and I'm going to introduce them to you right now. So we have in this bowl over here 4 tablespoons of butter, and we have 1 onion that's been chopped to a small dice, and we have half a cup of flour in this little measuring cup, and we have 2 cups of beef broth in this cup. And we have 1 pound of beef in this bowl, and this has been boiled, cut, and shredded. And in this small bowl we have 10 drops of Worcestershire sauce. And in this bowl I have a pinch of nutmeg. And in this bowl right here I have 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley. We're going to get started right now. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to turn your stove up to about a medium heat. So about 3 or 4 maybe. What we're going to do is we're going to take this butter, we're going to put it all in like that. And we're going to add the onions in with it. And we're just going to make sure this is well mixed. So we're just going to get my spatula, and we're just going to mix the butter all around here. Make sure the butter is all nice and melted. Just like that. And we're just going to let this sit for a couple of minutes. Okay, so now that our butter is melted, what we're going to do now is we're going to take this flour right here, and we're just going to add it all to the mixture like this. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my whisk, and I'm just going to whisk it all in to create a roux with the onions. So now it should transform into sort of a more thick consistency, and that's what you want to get. As you can see, the mixture is beginning to transform into a nice thick yellow color. And after this, we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this beef broth, and we're just going to add it all to the pan like this. Like that. And then we're just going to mix it all in once again. Make sure this is all nicely whisked. It should eventually turn a nice thick consistency. Okay, so this is closer to the consistency like you want to have. I'm just going to wait for it to thicken up a little bit, but once it's thick enough and it's sort of yellowish gold enough, well, you can add the beef next. Okay, so now that your mixture has transformed to a thick consistency, once your roux is thicker now that you've added the beef broth, we're going to take our boiled, cut, and shredded beef right now, and we're going to add it all into the mixture like this. And I'm just going to get my little rubber spatula, and I'll mix it all in. Make sure it gets all mixed in evenly. And afterwards we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so the last thing we want to do for this first part cooking process is we want to add all of our seasonings to this mixture. So here are my 10 drops of Worcestershire sauce going in like that. And I also have my 1 pinch of nutmeg. And I also have my 2 tablespoons of parsley. And I'm just going to grab my spatula, going to mix this all in. And after you let it sit on heat for a while, we're going to transfer this to a container, and we're going to let it sit in the fridge for approximately 4 hours. Okay, so now that our Bitterballen mixture has cooled in the fridge for at least 4 hours, it should look something like this, as you can see over here. So I have my Bitterballen mixture, and for the second part of this cooking process, we're going to set up a brewing station. So I have some flour in this bowl, some eggs and milk in this bowl, and some breadcrumbs in this bowl. And we're going to transfer all the assembled Bitterballen to this baking sheet right here. And afterwards we'll move on to the next step. Okay, to assemble the Bitterballen, what you want to do is you want to spread a little bit of flour out on your table a little bit. And we're just going to take a good handful of the Bitterballen mixture, and we're just going to roll it in the flour like this. Make sure it's all nicely coated. And now we're going to just tear off a little piece, and I'm going to roll it into a ball. Then I'm going to apply it to the flour. Make sure it's all nicely coated. And then I'm going to put in the egg mixture. Switch hands. Make sure it's all nicely coated in the egg mixture. And now I'm going to put in the breadcrumbs. And switch hands again. And you just got to make sure enough panko is applied to the little ball so that it sticks. And then I'm just going to transfer it to the baking sheet. And you just keep repeating this process until you're all out of the Bitterballen mixture. Okay, so now that you've assembled your Bitterballen, what you want to do is you want to fill a pot with some oil, and you want to turn on your stove, so like this. You're just going to let the oil heat up, and we're going to transfer these Bitterballen to the pot. So just like this. And we're just going to let them fry until they're golden brown on both sides. Okay, and when you're all done deep frying, they should look something like this. Don't they look delicious? We're going to serve it with some Dijon mustard, and I'll let you know what I think of it when I do my taste test. Okay, let's see what I think of this. Okay, got a little Dijon mustard. Let's see what I think of this. These taste really good. They're nice and crispy. You can taste the beef very well, and it's good. So here's the finished product served on our plate, served with a nice Caesar salad, some rice, and a little bit of Dijon mustard. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.